Hello, Wonderhussy here, out in a really remote part of Death Valley. That's right, I'm in Death Valley National Park. Looking at the scenery around me, it doesn't look like any part of Death Valley that I've ever been to. And that's for a good reason. It's because it is a part of Death Valley that I've never been to. Okay, we are way out on the eastern side of the park. In fact, I'm just gonna go ahead and stand under this apple tree. When's the last time you saw an apple tree in Death Valley, by the way? If you look at a map of Death Valley, most of it's in the state of California, but there is a little tiny corner that's in the state of Nevada. I guess we're up in the Grapevine Mountains. I think that's the Grapevine Mountain Range there. Really cool, beautiful rock formations, pine trees, and then of course, this unexpected fruit orchard. So what the heck am I doing out here, you might wonder? Well, I'm exploring. This is the place I've been wanting to check out for quite some time. It's called Strozzi Ranch. S-T-R-O-Z-Z-I, Strozzi Ranch. And, well, it's exactly that, a little ranch and homestead where this Italian guy named Cesare Strozzi used to run a herd of cattle in the summertime. Now, you might notice I'm unconventionally attired in a bikini and hiking boots. And, well, that's because it's real hot today. It's August 10th. It was about 100 degrees where I turned off the highway. And, well, down here on Strozzi Ranch, it's a cool 95. Okay, now you can see this is actually part of Death Valley National Park. From what I read online, and there's hardly any information about this place online, Death Valley National Park doesn't really consider these buildings to be of historical significance, or certainly not worthy of preservation. So it's not like they're trying to restore these ranch buildings or anything. I think that might be because Cesare Strozzi didn't live up here until the 1930s, 1940s. So it's not really that old, comparatively speaking. You know, a lot of these old cabins and such in Death Valley are from like the 1800s. Well, Cesare Strozzi didn't come out here until 1931-ish, I want to say. And, well, he lived in Beatty. The town of Beatty, Nevada is, I guess, that way, over the mountains there, not too far. Cesare Strozzi lived in Beatty, and I think he still lives in Beatty to this, or he's dead, but his son, I think, lives in Beatty to this day. So if you're watching this video, hi, I'm thinking of your dad. Anyway, Cesare Strozzi lived in Beatty in the winters, but he would come up here in the summer so he could graze his cattle for free on all these grasses, which, yeah, looking at the landscape, it doesn't look all that lush to me. Like, I don't see a whole lot of grass that a cow would eat. But, well, if you've seen some of the open rangeland in the Great Basin, and, well, these Nevada cattle are pretty hardcore, these open range cattle. They'll eat just about anything, so I guess these little scrubby bushes are good enough. So that's what he did. He stayed in Beatty in the winter, brought his cows up here in the summer, stayed up here all summer long, and I'll bet it was pretty nice. Okay, so anyway, I parked way down there at the end of the road. There's a couple outbuildings over here that we'll go check out, but I thought I'd start out here at what looks like it was probably his main dwelling, main ranch house, and it's probably crawling with snakes. So I'm gonna have to be careful. Look, here's one of his old mason jars. Aw, little things like that reminds you that, you know, somebody lived here. No telling what all kind of old cans and stuff we'll find up here. I get the impression this is a place that's not too often visited because it's so far off the beaten path. Wow, look, he even had an attic. Little crawl space up there. There's his chimney. Probably had a really cozy wood-burning stove, which, I mean, in the summertime, do you really need one? I guess for cooking. And then he had cardboard boxes up for insulation. Look at this. Made by the bakers of Snowflakes. American Beauty. Sears, Roebuck and Company. 9th and Boyle, Los Angeles, California. The Somebody Lamp Division. North Pier something, Chicago, Illinois. Wow. Man, these cardboard boxes are old. And then you can see over here on this wall, it looks like he actually wallpapered over the cardboard. Looks like there was some really nice flowered wallpaper up. I wasn't able to read anything as far as if he had a wife or if anybody came out here with him or if he's just him by himself. His son, living in Beatty, could probably answer those questions. So if you're watching, Strozzi Jr., please comment below and let us know. We're curious about your family, or at least I am. Kind of had a little built-in shelf here, and then there's another room over through this doorway. Oh, wow, what a cool old shelving unit, for lack of a better word. Holy cow, I mean, there's some stuff in here. All right, look, first of all, this is a piece of one of those really cool old linoleum carpets that they used to use back in the day. And this is actually one of the better preserved pieces I've ever seen. You can actually see the colors are still real vibrant. I guess it was too expensive to get a real woven oriental rug out here. So you see that a lot in these Death Valley miner cabins. These linoleum fake rugs that are, it's just patterned linoleum printed to look like it was a oriental rug. Kind of cool. I'll put that back there. Probably the reason it's so vibrant is it's been sitting in here in the shade all these years. You know, it's almost 100 years. I think he lived here roughly 31 to 41-ish, so 80 years, you know what I mean? There's a little bit of it down here, too. Isn't that cool? This was his little carpet. Looks like this is where people have put all the artifacts they found laying around. Part of one of his old plates. Oh, you can almost read the label on that. Popcorn? A can of popcorn? Isn't that what that says, though? Look. Something of American Corn Company. Popcorn. I'll be. Anybody ever eat or buy popcorn in a can? Oh, wow, look. It's like that really cool old Fiesta ware. Beautiful yellow color. Still so bright. Oh, look. An old playing card. It's so rusted away. It was the 7 of diamonds. Lucky 7. Lucky diamonds. Oh, look. An old shoe. I wonder if this is one of his shoes. Holy cannoli. This is so... First of all, it's real heavy. Like, it's a very solid rubber sole, but it's just totally stiff. Okay, this Strozzi Ranch is already kind of cooler than I was expecting. I mean, I was expecting it to be interesting, but I don't know. I didn't expect to find, like, little pieces of his life still up here. Okay, so we just came out of there. Now we'll go into... There's 2 more kind of sheds connected to the main house. This might have been, like, a bedroom. I don't know. Oh gosh, there's nothing left in here to tell us. But it's clearly just an add-on. Because you can see the exterior wall of the first house we went in, the first building. This has just sort of been added on to the side. No crawl space or ceiling, no insulation in here. This is a pretty rough affair. See, let me go out this door. See if we can get in that back building. Oh wow, look at this old stove. Old wash basin. Holy cannoli, there's a lot of stuff left here. Okay, let's go into this last building here on the back. Here's some more artifacts that have been collected. The butt of an old wine bottle. There's another sole of a shoe in there. It looks more like a lady's shoe. Oh, maybe he did have a lady out here with him. I hope so. I hope he wasn't lonely. Maybe he just enjoyed the solitude though, you know? Couldn't wait to get out of Beatty. You know, like maybe back in the day, in those days, Beatty had a bigger population. Nowadays, I think Beatty only has about, oh gosh, I know people who live in Beatty. I would guess about 400 people live in Beatty nowadays, but I know that back then when the mines were operating, like, it was a bigger town. So maybe he just couldn't wait to get away from the hustle and bustle of Beatty and come out here to his little summer getaway. All right, well, there's nothing in this third room. It's probably some kind of work area, storage, I don't know. Doesn't look like it was meant for living because it's not insulated. There's no wind. Well, there is that one window. And the windows were screened, I should note. So I bet it was pretty comfortable up here in the summer. Okay, now let's go check out this really old crumbling stone ruin. And what I think is interesting about this is, well, over here it has a sign from the Park Service saying no campfires, no camping. But over here, there is actually a sign with a tent on it. So I guess you are allowed to camp up here, which, gold dang it, I wish I would have known that last night. I would have camped up here. I bet it was really nice. Like I was saying, I bet it was really nice in the evening. And can you imagine being surrounded by these mountains when the sun went? The sun would have gone down right over those. The sunset would have been spectacular. Oh, bucket list. Okay, I'm guessing because this looks like it was kind of built into the side of the hill. Oh, I was gonna guess it was just kind of like a root cellar storage, but it's got a really cool fireplace in it. Look at this. Maybe it was just a stone cabin. How cozy. I did just check the my altimeter, and we're at like 6,200 feet here. So I bet it does get cold in the winter. And you would definitely want to stoke this bad boy up and have a cozy fire. Gosh, there's not that many places in Death Valley where it snows. I know people go, Death Valley? Snow does not compute. Well, yeah, it does if you think about it. Death Valley is actually the name of the whole park, not just Badwater Basin, the valley with the lowest point in the Western Hemisphere and all the famous sand dunes and this and that. There's also mountains in Death Valley. Okay, Telescope Peak, the highest peak in Death Valley, gets a lot of snow every year. So there is snow in Death Valley. Maybe even over here, probably over here. So you would have needed a fireplace. And besides the fireplace, there was also a pretty cool shelf, a very solidly constructed shelf, still standing to this day. So I don't know, maybe people did, or somebody lived in this cabin, this old stone cabin. It's an old colander. Or maybe this is something that was used for mining, you know? Like to, what do you call that when you sift? Look at the window. This is kind of interesting. It almost looks like an airplane window. And it's hinged. Look at that. These windows were hinged. And there's like even a little piece of a leather strap still attached to it. He must have had straps on it so he could open the windows. Oh, unfortunately, it's stuck shut. I don't want to break it. But he could open the windows and let more fresh air in if needed. Because they were, well, the windows are screened off, but that's such a big screen weave. I hate to even think of the bugs big enough to be kept out by that. But I'm sure they exist out here. And that looks like that there was the old front door. Would have hung right up here in this mighty fine door jamb. Look at that. It's all still standing to this day. Isn't that funny? These rocks put in place one at a time. Fit together just so. Little bits of, well, I don't know if he had cement or what he used in the cracks there. Unfortunately, there's the roof. Looks like it blew clean off. Look, here's something else cool I just noticed. These wooden pegs just stuck right into the side of this giant slab of wood, which, by the way, is still in excellent condition all these years later. A couple of these wooden pegs. He must have hung a saddle or something over them, rope maybe. All right, far out, man. This is a really neat little summer ranch. We went into the main living place. We went into the mother-in-law unit. Now let's go check out these outbuildings here, which I'm assuming were like farm buildings. You know, I'm guessing that back in the 30s, early 40s, when he was using this place, well, that was way before Death Valley was a park, national park, and I think even before it was a national monument. So I guess this was all just no man's land. I don't even know if BLM land was a thing back then. So apparently a guy could just come out and set up a cabin and let his cows graze wherever he wanted. It's interesting because it sure isn't like that anymore. You know what I mean? I wonder how long you could squat out here. Like, what if I did? What if I squatted out here? Because I think there's a spring at the end of the road, so I'd have all the water I needed. I could probably hunt little game, rabbits, birds. You know, I might even be able to cultivate a small garden, depending on how the spring is. I mean, he had trees growing, so yeah, I'd probably have apples. I could probably live up here. What if I did? I fixed up one of the cabins. I bet I could be out here for... well, I bet I could be out here for 2 whole weeks before the Park Service found me. Okay, here's the farm buildings. This looks like it might have been a chicken coop. Nice chicken wire in the window. Maybe he had chickens, fresh eggs. Yum! How about that? Okay, let's go check out this other little shed. This looks like it was probably some kind of a workroom, because look at those little cubbyhole shelves. I don't know what he was working on out here. You know, saddles, tack, lots of fun old metal detritus. Is this like a roller from an old clothes wringer? There's a handle on it. You know, you would turn that handle, wring the clothes through. It's all cracked now. Everything's rusted away. Can't read the labels on anything. A really cool old piece of some kind of ceramic. Not ceramic, what is that? Glass. Really thick, opaque glass. And then these shelves here have a whole bunch more stuff. More of the same. Weird, rusty, mysterious pieces of metal. And then look over here on this wall. It looks like he was experimenting with a brand for his cattle. A C. For, I guess his first name was Caesar, so maybe that's what that's for. Cesar. Okay, so the road you come in on goes all the way past all of the ranch buildings, and it continues all the way up here to where I parked, and that's where it kind of dead ends. And I guess that's what they mean by the camping area. Okay, so here's the end of the road. That's where those apple trees were. I'm guessing he had some kind of fruit orchard here back in the day. And as far as a campground goes, well, there's a couple picnic tables. There's a flat area where you could put your tent. And there's even one lonely porta potty out there in the bushes, which I hate to see the condition of the interior of that porta potty. Okay, now let's check out these fruit trees. And there's a row of them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back there. And most of them, if not all of them, are bearing fruit. Look at this. Aren't these apples? I kind of want to try a bite of one, but I don't want to get sick. I'll do it in the name of science. Very tart. But yeah, it's a little green apple. God didn't make little green apples and it don't snow in Indianapolis in the summertime. Remember that song? All right, this tree here does not look to be bearing any. Oh yeah, it's got some apples up top. Look at that. They're all bearing fruit. Shut the front door all these years, 80 years, no one's been up here. And all these trees are still a fruiting. They must be getting groundwater. I think there's a spring right back there in that cluster of green stuff. All right, well, before I get back in my nice, cool, air-conditioned rig and head on out of here, I do want to hike up and see if we can find the spring. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of brush between us and it, but it's like there might be a little trail here. Oh yeah, look, there's even like kind of reedy grasses. So there must have been quite a bit of water. Oh, and then you can see here he's got pipe running from it. He probably irrigated everything. Oh, I don't know how to get back there though. This is some serious bushwhacking. And well, I am wearing a bikini. Okay, I couldn't quite get into that thicket there. Probably where the darkest green trees are. There might be some water there. But what I ended up doing is I hiked up this hillside, and from up here you can see there's actually some kind of water tank way down over there, so maybe that's where the spring is. Whew. Oh, okay, so what I basically just did was hike all the way up this hillside because I wanted to check out these rock formations and, you know, get a good overview of the whole property. And it looks like there's a cave up here. Maybe this is where old man Strozzi kept his gold. It doesn't really go back very far. Just big enough to hunker down in and stay cool in the heat of the summer. You know what I mean? Like, say we heard the feds were coming, or the Park Service was coming to bust me squatting in that little cabin, and I scrambled up here, and I hid in the cave. So yeah, I suppose in the event of cattle rustlers, or assorted other bad hombres, he could have hiked up here and taken pot shots at him from that little porthole. Alright, well, since I'm all the way up here anyways, might as well climb all the way to the top and get a really good overview of the site. Here's a great overview of the whole dang canyon. I came in, oh my goodness, way off in the distance. I don't even think you can see US 95. And I took a dirt road for many, many miles. Led me into this little canyon. And I wound down the canyon to the ranch buildings there. And then that's where I parked. It was in the shade when I got here. Not so much anymore. Oh wow, and then look over there. There's a meadow way back there. See if I can zoom in. A little grassy meadow. I bet there's water back there for sure. Holy cow, I bet his cows went down there and ate all that grass. Man, if I had more time here, I would totally figure out a way to hike over to that meadow and check it out. Like I said though, I'll be back here. I definitely want to come spend the night sometime. And I'll try to allocate a couple days here. Okay, I made it. Because I'm such an exceptionally thorough, or some might say anal person, I just had to climb all the way to the top of this bluff so we could have an unobstructed view of the whole area before we leave. Golly, it sure is beautiful up here. I'll give you a 360 view before I head on back down. Okay, so moving counterclockwise from the top here, a few little scrubby trees, the more amazing formations, little grassy meadow. Then we come around to where that water tank is down there. Then I noticed there's another really green canyon or ravine just by where I parked. I didn't notice that when I pulled in. And that looks super green up at the top. So if I was gonna, like I was saying earlier, try to squat here, that's where I'd probably go check for water first. And then here's the other mountains on the other side. A whole nother valley over here. The neighboring canyon, no telling what's down there. Oh wow, and there's even a little road winding through there. Very remote, very desolate, and thoroughly awesome. I love this place, and I'll definitely be back to the uber remote and uber beautiful Strozzi Ranch. I'm gonna go ahead and put my phone away so I can hike back down to my car without breaking my neck. And well, if you're watching this video, well, that means I made it down safely.